A Houston woman who, according to court documents, is a key witness in a capital murder case has been missing for more than a week. Now, both family members and officials are searching for answers. 21-year-old Deundrea Ford, a dancer at Diva's Bikini Sports Bar and Grill, was last seen getting into a van outside of the bar on the East Freeway. She was a witness in a May shooting that left one man dead. Police say 4 people were arrested in that case, including a former Harris County detention officer.
Today marks 3 weeks since 21-year-old Deundrea Ford was last seen. She was caught on surveillance video leaving her workplace off the East Freeway and Centerwood Drive on Houston's east side. Ford's family continues to pass out flyers and prays for her safe return. They say it is not like her to just disappear like that.
21-year-old Deundrea Ford disappeared during the early hours of September 21st and was last seen near the 11900 block of the East Freeway. She was last seen getting into a white van with an unidentified male outside of Diva's Bikini Sports Bar, where she had worked for only a few weeks. Court papers listed Deundrea as a victim and a witness in a capital murder case stemming from a murder this past spring. Threats against Deundrea's life are documented in a probable cause affidavit filed in June against 22-year-old Jarrell Trevon Wheeler, one of 4 suspects charged in the May 18th fatal shooting of 35-year-old Otis Parker. The affidavit identifies the other defendants as 21-year-old Jamal Brown, listed as the shooter, and accomplices 23-year-old Mariah Green and 21-year-old Quintanilla Taylor. According to the 7-page affidavit, the defendants planned to rob and kill Parker and Deundrea over $1,500 cash. In a text exchange between Brown and Taylor, the affidavit shows Brown allegedly wrote, "She gotta go too." Taylor then responded, "I'm already knowing." Deundrea and Taylor, who was in the back seat, had just returned from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where they had worked as dancers for about a week. Parker, who was behind the wheel, was fatally shot. Bullets barely missed Deundrea, who escaped unharmed out of the car's back passenger door. Another court document outlining bond conditions revealed that on June 30th, a judge issued a no-contact order between the defendants and Deundrea. Harris County Sheriff's Office deputies fatally shot Brown on July 12th while they attempted to serve him with the murder warrant. The remaining 3 defendants remained incarcerated on Monday without bond. It is unclear whether the shooting was connected to Deundrea's disappearance. It's been over a month since she was last seen, and the case remains open and active, pending further investigation. Detectives have not released additional information about the case since the department's initial missing person alert, but authorities are asking anyone with information about Deundrea's disappearance to come forward. Her family sat down with news reporters in a recent interview to express their concerns and overall feelings about the case.
Kind of just tell me, how do you feel right now? What's going on through your mind? It'll be Saturday. It'll be a month since she was missing on Saturday.
Frustrated, concerned. If anything, I'm aggravated at the procedures, the process, the professionals involved in her search and recovery, and their diligence in her search and recovery. Myself, family members, friends, volunteers, people who've been helping us with this since it initially broke, we all feel like law enforcement has either gotten complacent with this situation, with her recovery and return, or she's not a priority to them. And my reason for stating that is that, after all of the information that was turned over by myself from the initial point of making, the report of her missing, all of the groundwork that I did, everything that they received, I turned all that over in an orderly fashion. I withheld nothing. As I got new information, I fed that information to them. Now, believe it or not, it seems that I cannot get that same respect. I understand that they have to actually look into leads first, and they have to cancel out leads, but it's just communicating that, hey, such and such is going on. Okay, well, this didn't pan out, but we're looking into this now. It's what I was doing. It's the way I was communicating with them. there's no reason why you shouldn't have that same direct line of contact and communication or vocabulary with me. There's no reason why we should be at almost 3 weeks now without an update from HPD. Just to be clear about a couple of things, the Houston Police Department, they are fumbling the ball on this, and it needs to be known. So we were asked to keep vital information in, some information that they felt was threatening to the investigation. But at this point, the actions of the law enforcement agencies, because it's multiple agencies, it's crazy to me, and it's thrown me and my family for a loop. And now we're asking any agencies, organizations who have professionals who know how to operate, how to search and look for someone, how to make someone a priority, how to become engaged, how to not let go of that. We're asking them to step in right now. So just at full disclosure, we were told by HPD that the guy, the person of interest, suspect, was detained out of town. We were not given the information of which state he was detained in, but we were told that he was released. We were told that his van and 2 cell phones that were found on his person were seized and turned over as evidence. We were told that warrants were being issued for the information on the cell phones that he had, that they recovered off of him. More importantly, we were called to bring her son to McCower Road to give a DNA sample due to evidence or whatever they found was recovered in his van. They didn't say, it's not specified whether it belongs to her, someone else, him. I mean, but they asked for DNA just to have on file and to cross-reference against whatever they recovered. At this point, there's no reason why, after sharing that type of information, asking that of our family, you know what headspace you put someone in when you ask them to bring someone in to submit that type of information. So it is critical that the Houston Police Department find a better way to communicate with us. It's sad that I have to reach out to the brass and have friends who've been in this fight with us, like Grizzly with Grizzly Hood News, who's here in support today. Brother Flores, private investigator, who's been using his resources to reach out to Assistant Chief Kevin Dietz, who I assume would be, forthcoming, open, and diligent with everything. But as of now, he's only given, one brief output of what's going on, and that's been it. Like, I'm not satisfied. My family is not satisfied. My community is not satisfied. You're asking us not to threaten or mess up your investigation. Critically, if you ask me, you've already done that in so many ways. I mean, if you were able to detain him and had enough cause to hold some of his possessions as evidence, then why let him go? If anyone did anything, you flagged that man. You gave him a reason to run if he's been released. And now you gotta ask yourself, if this man is triggered, or if he feels like, okay, something is going on here, he has every right to go on the run. And how are you gonna stop him? You no longer have him. You let him go, or another law enforcement agency let him go that you were communicating with. We've been stepping in to try to get in contact with the Houston chapter, the NAACP, as of right now, to see if they could come in to help us with this. I've reached out to the Foley Law Firm as of right now for legal representation. Nothing about this is satisfying. Everything is just disheartening. It's heartbreaking. To have to attempt to function daily, eat, go to sleep and not be able to do that, because someone of importance to me is clearly not of importance to the people who she should be important to right now. That speaks in volumes, and it's hurting. It's saddening. It's disheartening, and we need help. I need help. I'm not ashamed to say it. We need professionals. We need people with integrity, people with a heart to step in right now and to give us a hand. I'm more than sure that people will, organizations will. I'm just hoping that it's sooner than later, because if this is happening to us and to my niece, imagine how many other Deundrea Fords and Carrier families could be experiencing this right now. And it's sad. It's really complacent. I'm not making a pity plea. I'm asking anyone who would want someone to do the same thing for them and their family. Have a heart. If you've seen anything, have a heart. If you know something, have a heart. If you just want to volunteer, have a heart. I mean, it's this situation alone that gave me enough something inside to let Brother Flores and Sister Grizzly here know that once this is over with, I'm turning myself into an advocate, and I will be at their disposal to help, because the way that this has been handled, no one should have to go through that. And just me knowing that what I was able to provide and could have continued providing as far as information had I not stepped aside to let law enforcement half-ass do their job, that alone, that thought and that information can make a difference, a world of a difference, to a missing victim, to a family, to people without answers, and to people who need to be held accountable.
Do you feel like there's been a lack of response in your niece's case because of some of the other claims and because she's a woman of color?
Due to the narrative spins by Channel 13, Fox 26, when initially coming out here after we agreed to be interviewed by them, and I clearly stated to them that these two incidents had no significance. They did not correlate. The two of them had nothing to do with each other. They still decided, in order for ratings, for broadcast ratings, for whatever it is you were seeking, you spun that narrative, you put a negative picture out there, and in my opinion, you took away from the importance of this investigation. You took away from people who probably could have got involved, because you added an element no one knew about. And honestly, my niece was fine after everything before that. One party of that alleged case is deceased. The other three parties are locked away in jail. If they do have friends or family members that are out here, you alerted them to what was going on. You gave them a reason to look for her, and you put her in danger. No one but you. And I'm speaking, when I say you, I mean KRIV, Fox 26, and ABC 13 for doing what you did. It's not right. When you ask someone a question, they answer a question for you. When someone, out of concern, asks you not to portray a story, not a person, but a story a certain way, because you don't want to take away from the significance of the story, and you don't want to take away from what's important and what matters most, which is her recovery. If I would have knew that these news anchors, reporters were gonna, turn her into a ratings frenzy type of situation, I would have never let them through the door. And that's me being honest. I have you right now interviewing me because your station, y'all had the decency and integrity to do what you said And when we requested something not happen, you made sure it didn't. And then you all followed up with us. Me and my family are grateful to you for what you're doing and how y'all are standing diligently with us in this situation. And I just want you and your broadcasting company, your station, to know we need more like you. Grizzy, we need more like you. Brother Flores, we need more like you. And I'm just asking everyone to just have that type of integrity and energy right now, because we need more like you. That's the message. That's it.
When was the information you shared with us about the van and the person of interest, was that something that HPD told you, or that was something that you found out from them? You had to dig it out of them.
It was dug out of them by me and Brother Flores. The crazy part about it is Assistant Chief Kevin Dietz released this information to me after his investigators knew it. The detectives that are working it, they still withheld the information. The only reason why they came forth and shared it was because I basically, told them enough bullshit, and I know what you know.
When did they tell you this?
About 2 weeks ago.
And since then, you haven't heard anything else?
No communication from them. We're waiting on the status of the warrants that were issued for the phone records for the 2 cell phones that were recovered from the suspect, persons of interest, whatever you want to call them at this point. We're waiting on the information from the GPS from the van. That was an up-to-date model van. That van has real-time tracking from the time you start it up to the time you turn it off, from the time you park somewhere to the time you take off. We want the information from every destination, from that club till he was stopped and detained. We want everything. Like, I don't know how much they think I know, or if you take me for someone that's not intelligent, but that would be your greatest flaw. I would hope that you would stand in and help me right now, as much as I've helped them. Please, just stand in and help us. That's all we're asking. We're a family in need. Please do not turn us into a family seeking justice, because at this point we just need answers. That's it. For those who are able to provide them, do your job. It's that simple.
Do you think Deundrea is okay right now?
At this point, I'm never going to stop believing that my niece is okay, because the minute that I stop believing that, all of this to me is in vain, except for bringing her home. So I'll never not believe that she's okay until I can no longer believe that. And the only thing that can stop me from believing it is clear, uncut truth. And it has to be for me to see. I'm not talking about information truth, no. I have to visually be able to confirm that truth, and then I'll accept that truth. But until then, the truth of the matter is the ball is being dropped on her search and recovery. Those people that are responsible for getting her back home, after everything that me and other people have done to help you all, you owe us that much. And I will not rest until you start presenting information, or until you and the parties responsible for this are all held accountable for the individual parts that you played. That's about it. I mean, thank you to you yourself. Thank you to KPRC. Thank you to Grizzly Hood News. Thank you to the new Black Panther Party. Thank you to the volunteers and family members, friends of Deundrea Ford, relatives who have been, spreading the message on social media, making sure that this story doesn't go unheard. Thank you to everyone who's taken time out of their day to make my family a part of your household, or to at least care about us. I just ask that all of those people, law enforcement agencies, if someone of a higher authority has to step in to aid with this investigation to get her home. Please do so. We need all the help we can get right now. And it's clear, it's imminent, it's evident.
Anything else that you want to mention? I think you did really good. I appreciate you for speaking out. I'm definitely going to do everything I can. I'm going to start making calls to see who I can get in touch with. Sheila Jackson Lee. I'll try Tim Miller, Texas Echo Surge. Yeah, to see if, you know, somebody can get the ball rolling.
She'll have a soft spot for me. She sponsored me for a program when I was getting a job at NASA. So.
Do you happen to know who your the city council member is for this area? No.
No.
Shabazz, what's her name?
Evelyn. Yeah.
I think it's her.
I'll have to. Yeah,
is this third ward? No, this is what is
South Union.
South Union. I think it is Shabazz.
I'm gonna give her a call and see what I can do. Has the establishment, have they been cooperative with police? And
they haven't even been forthcoming about the information of the other female of interest that the guy was talking to who works there, who apparently she hasn't came back to work since then. To this is what they're saying, quote unquote, but to me this is just a bunch of nonsense. I mean, like, they got to know about their gross negligence in this situation. You will not walk away from this like that. No, you are half the reason why I have legal grounds. So I would hope that you find a heart, because that whole establishment will be held responsible for the part you played in this. No way around it. Balls rolling, time's ticking. I'm that guy. It's done.
Yeah, I know you're upset. You have every right to be upset.
Like I've already stated, I have a lot of energy, and I'm trying to put it into her return. But until I can get answers to make me feel better about knowing what's going on with her, I'm going to put that energy into everything to hold everyone accountable. Even after she's returned, I'm still going to hold you accountable, because you could do this with someone else's child, someone else's niece, someone else's family member. And this is not a game. This is life. You don't get do-overs. You don't get a reset button. And I'm sorry, they don't work when a life is involved. Do better. Put provisions in place. Put securities in place. Make sure that you're not liable the next time. That's my advice. Because you're liable and you're held at fault this time.
How is your nephew doing? And how's your grandmother doing?
My mom is leaning on me and everybody in the household for her strength. I mean, she's like me, tossing and turning. I mean, I'm pretty sure that she's in a state of suspended animation as well. I mean, just going to work to have time out of these four walls to get away from that, but you still have to take that with you everywhere you go, because people that know of it, they're constantly asking, have you heard anything? Is anything new coming around? And then when you get the constant reminder that law enforcement isn't doing what they're supposed to do and they're not communicating with you, it just further drives home the point of why I'm doing what I'm doing now. The more time that slips away, the more dangerous any investigation or situation becomes when it involves a missing person. The most valuable and crucial element you have in recovery of a missing person is time. It's almost a month. I shouldn't be speaking on time right now.
Thank you for the interview.
You said some
Thank you
powerful
for being
stuff.
strong, man, and talk to us.
Yes, I know this
Appreciate
is
that.
hard.